So good afternoon to Sati Aishdhara. I'd like all the participants of our program to meet her. She is the Senior Director of Human Resources in charge of the Asia Pacific region, which includes China, Malaysia, Singapore, and India. Total of 2,500 employees for a company called GEP Solutions. GEP is in the business of procurement and supply chain solutions, and they are based in the United States. Worldwide, they have about 4,000 employees, but Asati is in charge of about 2,500 of these. She has a 30-member team in HR assisting her in executing some of the business strategies for GEP. So, Sati, I'd like to present you to all of our students of the diploma program in training and development.
Sure. Thank you very much, Anita, for the introduction. And hi, everyone, and good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much.
So, Sati, my first question is, what's this general process by which you decide training strategy for your company? And how do you ensure that these activities in learning and development are aligned to the organizational direction?
Yes. So, Anita, as I said, GEP is in the procurement niche domain of procurement and supply chain. And, this is not a training that is available outside. So for us, the first thing is they hire the right kind of skills, the talent and the knowledge workers or the knowledge from the external, especially we look at campuses a lot. So bring in this talent. We have an internal launchpad program, which is very specific to the procurement domain. The students go through 3 to 5 weeks kind of knowledge, the domain learning skills or the domain skills and expertise, and they get certified on that. This is aligned to the business because once they complete the certification or they go through their, this domain knowledge, they are absolutely readily available to interact with clients because they have the skills or the niche knowledge in the domains in the space of procurement. So that's how we align our learning strategy to the business strategy.
So a lot is focused on building the right knowledge and skill.
Absolutely.
Functional skill and functional knowledge about the process that you have.
Absolutely, because that is what, as consultants or at strategic sourcing talent, this is what they bring to the clients.
Okay, so could you tell us some of the business strategy scenarios faced by your organization in the last few
typically.
Years? And what did you do to adjust your learning development and HR strategy to fit into that direction?
Sure. Especially, I'll talk about it a little in the COVID situation. Given the COVID situation and the global economy, there was a lot of focus by a lot of large organizations, and which are some of them are clients of ours for many, many years, was about getting, the costs. Of course, one is the cost, and of course, in some of the organizations, unfortunately, there was also some retrenchment where they had to let people go. The whole owners then came back to our organization where we helped them with opportunity assessment, help with coming up with solutions, and helping them drive, profitability and growth. So during that time for us, this, given the immense knowledge that we come up from the procurement space, it was how do we drive those results? How do we ensure that we bring up or we help them drive, their business and help them bringing in their cost down? So one was that was a business strategy. That was a business, challenge that we were faced with. Unfortunately, we were lucky that we have seen in year-on-year growth, even during the COVID times. The firm grew because there were a lot of clients of ours who needed assistance from us and help from us. What we did is, from the training perspective, one challenge was, of course, how do we quickly ensure that, members who are joining us from campus, especially in this scenario, COVID scenario, where we couldn't meet them on a face-to-face, but they joined us virtually, and we had to, the entire Launchpad program, which used to happen in classrooms at an offsite, had to be transformed overnight into a digital program. So we had leaders from, our co-founders, our, sourcing leaders, our consultants, senior directors, and vice presidents all over the world who came together to deliver these sessions to this group of 100+ campus that we hired. So the entire converting that entire, classroom program into a virtual digitized program was one challenge that HR, went through. we were partnered by business and we transformed that entire session into a virtual online program. And in fact, I'm happy to say that it was an extremely successful transformation. The students, you received very good feedback from the students on the campuses. They are quite thorough and comfortable delivering the results for their clients now.
Wonderful. So that gives me a lot of understanding, and I'm quite sure the students also of this program will learn a lot about how at GEP Consultants you did a lot of training efforts and aligned to the business strategy.
Yes.
So, is there any other business scenario you might want to talk about? You know that it enabled you to adjust your training strategy to that particular business scenario?
Yeah, the other one, of course, which I think a lot of us are going through right now, given that we are in the virtual situation where, classroom trainings cannot be conducted or you are not face to face with employees. The other, and of course, the whole line between work-life balance, I think is now gone. So you don't, all of us are, I think, going through this whole challenge where there is no specified work timings. You seem to be almost 24/7 at work. In this situation, what we did is, we broke down the learning programs. So one is we made them very self-learning. We launched a lot of self-learning programs. Some of them are instructor-led, and if they are able to align with the timing, they can log into those programs. But other than instructor-led, we also launched programs which are self-learning programs. There was a recorded session. The employees could go through those sessions, take an assessment for themselves, and get certified. We launched leadership programs, which are by external speakers, 2 hours. We made the program shorter. Instead of an 8-hour classroom training, we broke them into 2 hours. And they could be, over a period of 4 days or alternate weeks, so that employees get that time to go through the program, learn from it, internalize it, and attend the next session for the next 2 hours. So these are the bite-sized programs that we made available to employees. A lot of open sesame or open programs, skill builder programs, upskilling programs is something that we have come up with. Other is, of course, a lot of SMEs within the organizations also raised their hands to become trainers. So they did training modules. So that was another thing. Internal employees also took up this as a challenge. They came up with smaller modules where they recorded this session, and those sessions were available for employees, especially new joiners, to go through and learn from.
So it seems that digitization is the way to go, even for learning and development. But being an old-fashioned trainer, I believe that there is some things that training can do which cannot be delivered digitally. And those are the things that are going to be extremely valuable in the coming years. Because whatever can be done digitally is something that can be rolled out en masse. There are some things that digitization cannot deliver. And that's going to be the value
Yes, I agree with you here, Anita. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. So one is, I think that the entire passion or that niche skill or expertise that might be a trainer brings, which is unique to that particular trainer. So that's something that you can't maybe on a digital platform is sometimes a little difficult, because it's also about engaging. Right now, what happens is on a digital platform, engaging or interacting with the employees or seeing their reaction or understanding their reaction sometimes is a little bit of a challenge. Also, you do not know, whether you have 100% of the person in the classroom when you are doing the training. So that's another challenge that is there on the digital platform side. So these are a couple of challenges.
This recording is going to be beamed out to a group of people who are training managers or who want to become training managers. Any words you'd like to share with them?
I would say that, especially I'm also from the old school of thoughts. So I personally enjoy my interaction and time with people in the classroom, because that gives me the energy. I think seeing the energy in the classroom gives me the energy. But I think I'm also learning how to, engage people on a digital platform. So finding newer ways of doing that, newer techniques of doing that. How do you engage employees when you are, maybe on a digital platform? So I think that will be one that I would suggest that all of us should, try and see, because digitization is going to be the way, and we'll need to focus on both. So enhancing your tools while you're very good in a personal interaction, how do you understand and also transform yourself on a virtual platform? I think having that, both these will be very helpful for each one of us.
Great. Thank you so much, Sati. And I'm sure this is there's a lot of learning in it for our participants of our program.
Sure.
And on their behalf, on behalf of ISTV, I'd like to say a very warm thank you.
Thank you so much, Anita, in fact, for inviting me. The pleasure is all mine. And thank you so much for the conversation.